Briefly, I was asked to show my perspective, idea, how I intend the multi-actor approach. And luckily, in one of the two projects I am presently involved in, I have both the coordination of the whole project and the responsibility of the multi-actor approach. And I don't know if I will be able to give you the right answer, because I don't think it's easy to say what is a right answer, but I can present what I did to build this project and to contribute to the farmer project. I will present it. So I will say, well, may briefly, what's my idea on the multi-actor approach? Which are the barriers that I presently experiment on the multi-actor and that I experimented in building the consortium indeed and in writing the proposals? And what I think this multi-actor approach should be dealing with in terms of consortium formation, idea development, proposal concretization, finalization of the work plan, and well, budget, because the budget is a key point on the consortium and the multi-actor approach. Well, simply, very shortly, I am presently an associate professor at the University of Pisa, but I have to say that luckily for me, or unluckily, I don't know, I have taught many topics also out of my present topic, because I also teach at the university horticultural crops, and in post-university courses also crop genetics and soil sciences. So I have some mixed expertise. Basically, I know everything and I know nothing. That's the point. Um, in my activities, I deals with all the activities that I already done. And also I have worked in very different institutions in Italy, and one also in Spain too. And this institution had different aims and different missions, and this allowed me to know people from different areas, from the north to the south, the south, the east, and the west, and different way of leading it. And presently, I'm involved in two projects, and I was involved in other projects previously. One of these is the Sharing Med project. It's a prima project. I can see that Fabrice de Trensangle is one of the people here, and I am happy for that. And as a unit leader, I am also, oh, sorry, I forgot to change the name, and the Pro Small Agrimed project. So it's promoting smallholder agriculture in the Mediterranean area. That is a focused project, especially on a species as a unit leader, and here as a coordinator. In these kinds of projects, in both of them, we have a multi-actor approach, and in that multi-actor approach, I think that this multi-actor approach is not simply making a project. I think this is a wrong way to handle a multi-actor approach. So I am a researcher. I call a company, maybe a company that I don't know. Would you like to participate to the project? No. Well, this is not correct. This is the worst way to achieve the multi-actor approach, in my opinion. It's best, it's even better, being contacted by company to solve their problems. I presently have to say that I stay probably too much on social networks and on the public societies, but I have a lot of contacts with them. I myself have been an entrepreneur in agriculture, and I have worked in entrepreneur building an activity, let's call it RIA or IA, doesn't matter the name, together, irrespective of a funding. So it should be a funding given by the company at the beginning to solve their problems, and then trying to disseminate the results. So basically, staying all the time in a lab and knowing a company and calling them and making a project is not the correct pipeline. In my opinion, the correct pipeline is trying to have a public engagement before writing a project, irrespective of the will to write a project, building with a company some activity, and then if possible, participating to a European project or a national or a local project if applicable. Well, I did it. And well, being a coordinator, I must have done it because I included the multi-actor approach as a whole word package on that, and which are the problems I experienced. Firstly, bureaucracy is hard for us, and it's even harder for companies. Someone have already said it. Secondly, there are other big problems and that can be solved by spending a lot of time with the companies. And first of all is some big company which are more likely to participate to project don't want their idea to be, let's say, stolen. I don't want to give it because if the project is not funded, maybe you can do it with someone else later in another project, and it's okay. And the small company, which are the most important in many projects, especially in agricultural sector, don't have a touch with the scientific research. They think that the scientific research is far, is something made on the books, and it's not practical. So that's two key problems. With policymakers, I hope not to offend some policymaker here. Sometimes I have problems. I talk with policymaker from both the right and the left, and every kind of policymakers, and everyone's asking me to say things that brings them votes. But I don't want to bring a policymaker a vote. I want to bring the population a result that should be good for every kind of policymaker. And this is a problem I am dealing with. And lastly, there is the problem of the researchers. And this, we are not frequently experts to talk in public. So we must do it. All of this requires time, and many researchers will say, okay, I will start writing papers and not spending time on this. So basically, this is my personal pipeline. I build a core group, including in the consortium one or more company, then try to develop the idea irrespective of the call, never building the consortium around the partner. So I start developing an idea and then look for partners on that idea. Then I start looking at different calls because maybe part of that idea can be developed in some local call. And then I try to develop as a coordinator, not as a unit leader, an idea where can I handle all the topics into that idea. So I must have studied everything well, and then I try, well, sorry for this word, to impose a budget. So I don't leave the people the ability to choose their budget. So you do this work, you can do it with this kind of budget, no more and not less, especially. So that's all. Thank you.